So, since Black Panther has been out for a little more than a week now, and Infinity War is going to come out in 2 months, or yeah, a little more than 2 months, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp also comes out later this year, I thought I'd give you my rankings for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I've not done this before, and I made my rankings. I hope they stay with me for like now on, because they always change. My at least the top movies always change with me. So yeah, so without further ado, here we go. Coming in at number 18 is Thor: The Dark World. And Thor: The Dark World, I don't think is a bad movie. I think it's just all right. It's like, it was kind of disappointing when I saw it, but I've kind of laid off it since. But this one still is probably the last ranked movie in the MCU in my opinion. And probably many other people probably will agree with me. And yeah, Thor: The Dark World just really doesn't do good because it has a one-dimensional villain who's not even interesting in Malekith, and the comedy does not hit a lot of the movie. Well, some of the movie it does with Loki and stuff, Loki and Thor, but with Kat Dennings, who is in the movie way too much, yeah, that gets annoying every time she pops up in the movie. Number 17, we have The Incredible Hulk. And this movie, also not a bad movie, but I really am not, I'm not that big a fan of it. I think it is better than Ang Lee's Hulk movie. And Edward Norton in the movie is good. And then he did good. And it maybe not as good as Mark Ruffalo in my opinion, but he still is a good Bruce Banner. I just think the movie itself doesn't really feel like it's an MCU, which is not always a bad thing. But for me, personally, it doesn't really appeal to me as being an MCU movie. I know they have General Ross and Tony Stark makes an appearance at the end, but yeah, but An Incredible Hulk, 17th on my list. So let's go to number 16. At number 16, I have Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is a kind of a movie that really promotes the Avengers. It's setting it up because Nick Fury's in the movie, and he's telling them, you're not perfect for the Avengers, even though he uses them in the Avengers. So yeah, but it really is a promotion. Mickey Rourke playing Whiplash is kind of, I never really been a fan of his performance in the movie. I think Mickey Rourke did actually pretty bad in the movie. You got Justin Hammer played by Sam Rockwell, which is pretty good. Seeing Sam Rockwell in a blockbuster, pretty good, I guess. And you always do good with Robert Downey Jr., as Tony Stark. And Don Cheadle, this is his first movie as Rhodes after Terrence Howard left Iron Man. So yeah, I think there's some positive, but mostly Iron Man 2, just whatever. And number 15, let's go to Iron Man 3. So Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3. And I like Iron Man 3 just a bit more because I think it is creative, even though I'm not really a big fan of the Mandarin twist. That just really, it didn't really appeal to me that much, as it didn't really appeal to anybody really. I mean, I give them props for the creativity. They did I think Shane Black did something that was a risk, and it really rewarded him, in my opinion. But I think it would have been better if Ben Kingsley was a villain. But because they took the risk with this movie, and it does stand on its own, I think it's a little bit better than Iron Man 2. That's why I have it at number 15th. At 14th, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a fine movie. I think there's a little bit of a lot of comedy that does not hit in this movie, and it's definitely not even as close as the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But this one's still good. You got Kurt Russell playing Ego, which he was a decent villain, I think. I love hanging out with the characters, of course, like Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Groot, Rocket, all those characters. I love them, and yeah, that's what makes it appealing, the characters, and they just feel like a family. So yeah. So at number 13, I will go with the first Thor movie, Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh. I keep messing up on his name, but Kenneth Branagh did really good in this movie. And he directed it so well. I think it really, really speaks highly of him because he is kind of a Shakespearean actor, or Shakespearean director, I guess, director and actor. But I think he does a fine job with this movie. And then Chris Hemsworth, this is basically his coming out party as an A-lister, because he does really good as Thor in the movie. And I think, of course, Loki being introduced as a villain, the best villain that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had, and I think he's good in the movie. So yeah, and of course, Anthony Hopkins being Odin, I think is fantastic. Rene Russo, you got Idris Elba in it, so definitely some strong actors in the movie. At number 12, I have the Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron wasn't as good as the first Avengers, not necessarily as close. Maybe the villain's not quite as good. I mean, Ultron, I liked him, James Spader doing the voice of him, and of course you have the introduction of Scarlet Witch, and then of course Quicksilver, even though he goes out at the end and dies. But yeah, then of course Vision in the movie also. So yeah, it's a fun movie to watch with, you're really connected to the characters like Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and all those, and I think that's what makes it good, but still not as good as the first Avengers. And now we go to the Captain America, the first Avenger. It is a really good origin story, and it preceded the first Avengers, but it wasn't like an advertisement for the first Avengers movie. It was kind of like, this is the origin story of Captain America. I really liked it. And then transitioning into the modern day, of course, at the end was pretty good. And that's what leads you into the Avengers movie when like Tony Stark, Nick Fury's coming in at the end when he's punching that bag. So yeah, it really is. And a cool story. And of course, the Red Skull, I think, is a really good villain in the movie, played by Hugo Weaving. So yeah, I really like Captain America, the first Avenger. At number 10 is a movie we just saw last year, and it's Thor Ragnarok. This is the best movie of the Thor franchise because it does not take itself too seriously, and Taika Waititi did a great job directing this movie. It's got a lot of humor. My only concern in the movie, of course, the humor kind of maybe takes away from some of the serious moments in the movie, and there are some serious moments in the movie. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but even with the humor though, it's really good. And Thor and Loki being together, you got Hela played by Cate Blanchett, who's just really good in the movie, and of course Valkyrie played by Tessa Thompson, really good in the movie as well. Jeff Goldblum, of course, as the Grandmaster, was awesome. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok, really fun movie to watch, really humorous movie to watch. Definitely, I think, yeah, definitely the best of the Thor franchise. Also, a movie that came out last year is number 9, Spiderman Homecoming. Finally, we had Spider-Man in the MCU after he made his debut in Civil War. Yeah, I think this is a really good movie, a really good start to Spider-Man. You have Tom Holland playing him so well in the movie. Michael Keaton really stands out as a villain. Vulture, Adrian Toomes. And I think he really steals the scenes he's in. He's not in it too much where he would overshadow Spider-Man, because this is a Spider-Man movie and it's his movie, but it is Michael Keaton playing a good performance as a villain. You can really understand his motivations of doing the things, the necessarily bad stuff I guess he does. It's not overly bad, of course, but yeah, I think he's a good villain, and yeah, he's intense, and I think this is a really good Spider-Man Homecoming, a really good way to bring Spider-Man into the MCU. At number 8, we have Ant-Man, and Ant-Man, yes, is another comedy, another movie with a lot of comedy in it, and Paul Rudd playing Scott Lang in this movie is so good. Yeah, I think it's really creative, and it doesn't really take itself too seriously either. And this movie keeps itself grounded. It doesn't have the high stakes that Avengers or Captain America movies may have. This is a heist movie. I think it's really good. And of course, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Evangeline Lilly in the movie. Michael Pena is a standout in his scene. So yeah, Ant-Man's a really fun movie to watch, and that's why I have it at number 9. Inside my top 10, actually number 8, number 8. So yeah, Ant-Man. Number 7 is Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange was a movie that I was excited for because Benedict Cumberbatch, I think probably my favorite actor right now. He plays Doctor Strange, and when he got announced, I was so excited, and he is definitely so good in the movie. I think Doctor Strange is a cliche origin story for a superhero. It's a common story. There's no really change to it, except the visuals are really stunning in this movie. They're like Inception-like at times. It's like you're looking into a kaleidoscope and having like an acid trip or something like that. So yeah, the visuals are great in this movie. You got Rachel McAdams in the movie. Of course, the villain played by Mads Mikkelsen. You got Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, who was really good. And then Baron Mordo played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. All good in the movie. I think, yeah, Doctor Strange, really enjoyable movie to watch. And yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch shines as Doctor Strange. Can't wait to see him in Infinity War. At number 6 is Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy was like probably one of the most fun movies to watch in theaters. It is like somewhat of a surprise because nobody was expecting this type of movie to be so good, and it was. And it's got a lot of humor, got a lot of heart. Chris Pratt playing Star-Lord is pretty good. You got like you got Zoe Saldana, of course, in the movie. Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel doing the voices of Rocket and Groot, and of course Dave Bautista in the movie. So yeah, it's really just a movie that has a lot of heart to it. It has a lot of humor. It has a lot of lightheartedness, and it really was the first movie to bring you into the cosmic universe in Marvel. So that's what I really liked about the movie, and it definitely was the most fun, one of the most fun MCU movies. Now we go to the movie that started off the MCU, and that is Iron Man at number 5. And this movie 10 years ago it came out, started this whole thing with Marvel Studios, and it was a blast. Robert Downey Jr., I mean, some people were like skeptical of him being the choice by Tony Stark, but he's played Tony Stark so well in this series, so well that you can't really imagine anyone else playing Tony Stark. You really didn't know that it was going to start up this like this whole cinematic universe because, yeah, I didn't even know there was a scene at the end of the trailers or at the end of the credits. I mean, with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury coming in, and yeah, he wants to talk to Tony Stark about the Avengers Initiative. And I was like, I never knew about that scene until one of my friends said it, and I looked it up on YouTube, and I was like, whoa, we're gonna get Avengers someday, and we did, and it was awesome. So speaking about the Avengers, I have the Avengers at number 4, and this is a movie that was so special and so fun because it was the first movie where we got superheroes coming together like Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and of course Black Widow and Hawkeye thrown in too. And this was just such a delight to watch. The most fun I ever had in a theater watching a movie. And that's why it's so good because like it probably has like a common storyline for like superhero movies, like the generic storyline, but just seeing them all come together, playing off one another, the chemistry they had with one another, I think what makes this movie great and one of the great superhero movies of them all. Well, we just saw it, and at number 3 I have Black Panther, and Black Panther, yeah, this one, yeah, I sort of knew this was going to be great because Chadwick Boseman played him so well in Captain America Civil War, and he comes in this movie playing him so well. But not just like the cast was just great as well. I mean, like Lupita Nyong'o, of course, in the movie. You have Michael B. Jordan playing a great villain in Killmonger. You got Danai Gurira, Letitia Wright playing Shuri, Andy Serkis. You have just a stellar cast in this movie. The story was great. Black Panther is one heck of a movie. I think, yeah, it's definitely third on my list, and yeah, for rightfully so, because it has just a great storyline, and yeah, it's definitely one of the best in the MCU, and I did a review of it, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it definitely is one of the top MCU movies, in my opinion. So let's go to number 2. And at number 2, I have Captain America, The Winter Soldier. And when Captain America, The Winter Soldier came out, I was kind of skeptical because I really didn't think after the Avengers that putting a movie this high, with this high of stakes, was going to be appealing at all. But it definitely was appealing because this was so good. And it was my number 1 until another certain movie came out just a year and a half ago. And this one, yeah, this one is just so good. You have Black Widow being a supporting role, with the Falcon being introduced, played by Anthony Mackie, and he's so good in it. And of course, you have Bucky Barnes being reintroduced as the Winter Soldier in this movie. He's a menace in the movie. And of course, Robert Redford playing Alexander Pierce in just a really good role in this as well. Captain America: The Winter Soldier was surprising me because it was so good, and I was so happy that Captain America movie was so good because, yeah, this one, yeah, it was best on my list. This was number 1 on my list until, yeah, Civil War came along, and yeah, Captain America: Civil War is number 1, and I don't think it quite has like the better story than Winter Soldier. I think the Winter Soldier slightly has a better story, but Civil War has all the heroes together fighting each other, and the way they fit like 12 heroes in this movie was great. And they introduced Black Panther, they reintroduced Spider-Man, and it's just like, how can you give each of these heroes some time in the movie to be a good part of it? And and still make it like really like paced well. And they do. They pace it so well in this movie. It is so awesome. The storyline is, I think, it's great. And of course, the airport fight scene is great as well. And the Cap Iron Man Bucky fight then was great. And it leaves off on a really good note. They're separated, but they're coming back for Infinity War. So yeah, hopefully we see some maybe repercussions in Infinity War from Civil War. But Civil War is so great in my eyes. It's number one on my list. So yeah, not much to say, but yeah, definitely my top MCU movie in my opinion. But your list might be different. You might have someone else at number one. You might have the Avengers, Winter Soldier. You might even have Black Panther. Some might have Doctor Strange. I don't know. So yeah, you can tell me down below what your rankings are, if you have any, or what your top 5 is. You do that if you want. So yeah, you can check out my channel for more stuff later. I was just talking MCU. This video might be too long. I don't know. So until next time, folks, I will see you guys later. I am out.